Hello, stream? I might have just hooked it up, hopefully. So that it is this mic up here. I have. Good news, it is working, and now I need to see the big thing. When I move my mouse, so far, it is not constantly lagging. I will have the stream up on my phone though, so that I know. Sadly, I will need the audio up. So. Hey, it does seem to be constantly lagging everywhere else. So it is. Fair enough. I will just try not to move the mouse as much, and I won't talk during the mouse movement. So, firstly, I'm bored, so time to rate Elder Scrolls stuff because I have been playing a lot. I've been giving Blizzard a lot of my time this week. So, firstly, I'm going to make a new list for the games I haven't played, and I'm going to place them there. Okay, it seems like it's just gonna be these four. I mean, I was trying to make my own tier list for the games that I have on my Xbox. I was gonna do Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and probably just other random games. But until then, Morrowind. Okay, so Morrowind. I'm going to try to rate these as non-biased as I possibly can. So, Morrowind. I have been playing it a lot recently. I have been playing Oblivion and Skyrim a lot too. So yeah, Morrowind is a. Again, I'm going to try to give them fair and valid criticism. Morrowind is a fun game. I do like how, like, you have a chance to fail a spell. I find that to be quite unique. I also like how you can make your own spells. I've been having a bit of fun in that one. It's very old. The the graphics, honestly, I can overlook them. I've been having a lot of fun anyway. But you cannot move in the map, which is not very good. Like, I can overlook the fact that you can't fast travel, but the fact that you can't move your cursor around the map. Wait, yes you can. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, yeah. The entire reason why I don't really like Morrowind as much as the other ones is the fact that I can't fast travel. Because I feel like exploring is just useless then. Because what I normally like to do in Skyrim is I'll just walk around, or in Fallout I'll just walk around and explore new areas, and I'll fast travel around as needed. And yeah. Other than that, you can make your own spells. I'm not that far in. Like I'm about like 2 hours in. Of course, that's very little. Like I've made very little. I've done starter missions for the Mages Guild, which have been very tedious. Like go collect mushrooms, but they're realistic. Like in Skyrim, it was like go get the Staff of Magnus, and in Oblivion, no, I can't judge that yet because the only thing that I've done is I've gotten a recommendation from all the magic people, so that's the thing. Okay, Oblivion. I feel like it should go C tier. Because from what I've played, it's definitely not the worst. Well, from what I've played, it is the worst. Yeah, so it not D tier because it's not a bad game. Of course, it's glitchy, buggy, but it's to be expected. It's an older game. Hey, it's an original Xbox game. Like, you can't really judge it for that. So I'm going to drag it to C tier. Okay, next is Oblivion. Oblivion. I've been having a blast with Oblivion. Firstly, the Thieves Guild. I understand that everyone was like, wow, the Thieves Guild is so much better in Oblivion. Because you need to be a thief in between missions. It's really not that hard. You do a mission, and then you have infinite wine. Well, not infinite, but it's a lot of wine. You can sell it for thousands, hundreds, thousands. Yeah, like I was able to do the whole sell random stuff thing pretty quickly. Actually, I won't say pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure that I have a 12-hour stream of just me playing the Thieves Guild, which is a lot more than Skyrim. I'm gonna give them that. Oblivion seems like it has a lot more content than Skyrim, because Skyrim has 3 main guilds, I guess you can say. Like, I haven't done like anything else in Oblivion. I want to try to get the guilds done and then go explore around. But in Skyrim there is mages, thief, and companions. Where the longest of the 3 is probably going to be the thief, and that's because you gotta go around and steal from places. In Oblivion's, I also liked the main thief quest. I don't want to start on the main quest in Oblivion yet, because honestly, I kind of just like having fun and walking around doing random stuff. I will definitely finish Oblivion. So yeah. Again, the main thief quests were thiefy, and I do like how like the beggars are like your entire choice. It's like the Gray Fox he is just this man who basically it's Robin Hood. It's kind of cool. I've done a bit in the Fighters Guild, and then I stopped because I needed some ectoplasm, so I went on to the Mages Guild. The arena. The arena's really fun. I like just going in there and beating people up. Of course, the 3 Argonians. 3? Do you really need 3? Other than that, like, sure, the lack of the sprint button kind of bumps it down a bit, but you can fast travel. Oh yeah, speaking of fast travel, Morrowind has a cool like little like you gotta pay to fast travel. Like it's like you get on the big boys to travel, which honestly is really, really cool. So Morrowind is C plus. Let me just. It's like C plus plus. It's like if like I feel like it could bump itself up to B tier. But back to Oblivion. It's really fun. I'm having a ton of fun with it right now. It's A tier. Skyrim. Now this one is the big one, where I don't want to praise it too much because I've played Skyrim a lot more than the others, so I'm pointing out their flaws and their exceptionalities. But basically, I want to try to do that for all these games because I don't want to just be biased towards Skyrim because I've played it the most. So let's give it a go. It's why I'm kind of happy that I'm not gonna do Fallout because I touched the very surface of New Vegas and 3. It would kind of just, it wouldn't be fair to them because I know that everyone likes New Vegas, so I'm definitely gonna be playing it in the future, probably on stream because well these old games I like playing them on stream because I mean, like, for the fans of the games, like, you don't really have a lot of YouTubers covering them. So yeah, on to Skyrim. So let's talk about the three factions. Like, I mean, the three guilds. So you got mages, thief, and the companions. Thief's Guild is the biggest of them, where you have to go on. So there's joining the guild, which is just going into Riften and basically Brynjolf will approach you. Then you gotta go steal three things from. Well, it's not even steal. It's kind of like you get three people in Riften to pay back Brynjolf. Then it's Honey Brew. Then it's Maven Blackbriar. You gotta go poison some mead. Then I'm pretty sure. Wait, then you get the note there, which makes you go interrogate the person at Solitude. Then you find Carlia. Then you gotta go to Markarth and decode. Yeah, I forgot the old guild master's journal. Then you go kill Mercer Frey. Then you return the thing, the skeleton key. So that, because I don't want to make okay, I'm gonna just make it 10 and then throw in like the become Nightingale. So that's 10 basically main guild quests, which is a nice chunk. It's about like 5 hours of content. It's a good chunk. It might be more. It all depends on how well you play the game, how fast you can get through like Dwemer ruins and stuff. And then there's the side quests. This could like this is probably where you spend the most time in the Thieves Guild, because the side quests in the Thieves Guild is to basically you gotta go into one of the four major hole five maybe. It's technically the it, that's just worse. My problem was that I couldn't hear. Okay, basically you gotta go into the five major cities, which is Whiterun, Markarth, Solitude, Windhelm, and Riften. Sorry, I was Winterhold, Windhelm, and Whiterun pulled up together. Uh, it's probably because they all start with the W's. But it's basically you gotta go to four main places: Whiterun, Windhelm, Solitude, and Markarth. You gotta commit to five. Well, you gotta take 5 jobs in each city, and then do a special task for them. That will take you a long time, probably about another 5-6 hours. It, especially if you get unlucky and maybe they'll just send you to Riften. You don't get a special job in Riften, but they will send you there. Or you can get Whiterun 700 times, like I do. Yeah, that will it increases the gameplay. See, I'm gonna be a lot more thorough on Skyrim because I've played the most. Then there's the companions, where, in my own opinion, I like the companions questline. It's way too short. Like, the reason I say this is like, at least in Oblivion, like, I'd like to do my research. aka, I like to type into Google. Actually, technically, I have Microsoft Edge in. So I like to type into my search engine. I'll be like, Oblivion Fighters Guild, and then I'll see all the missions. There are so many in Oblivion. In Skyrim, there is. What is there? You go fight with Farkas. Farkas? No. Farkas. Yeah, Farkas. Farkas is the mean one. No, Farkas is the nice one. I forgot. Basically, you have to go fight with the main companion. I'm pretty sure his name's Farkas. You know what? Yeah, I'll just say Farkas. You gotta go fight with him, and then you and the nice companion, I forgot what his name was, Tim. You guys gotta go into a little dungeon place. Also, I'm pretty sure then you have to do a radiant mission, and then you become, then you join the inner circle. Then you become a werewolf. Then Silver Hand. Then like two more radiant. Like it's just a lot of radiant missions. Then you'll come back, find. I don't want to spoil it. So you'll find a surprise. Then you gotta go get the shards of Wuthrat. Well, no. No, before you do that, then it's another Silverhand mission. Then you gotta go get the shards of Wuthrat. Oh wait, you also have to go get the witches' heads. It's actually a decently big quest line, but you see, the thing is, they're fast to do. There are no dwarven ruins in them. It's just bandit camps. It's you go into a bandit camp, kill everyone, bang, you're done. So you do that like 10 times, then you've beaten the companions. Of course, there are your side quests, like you can purify both Farkas and I'll just call him Barkus. I don't know his name. I kind of forgot. The nice and the mean companion and the nice one, the one who trains you in two-hand and heavy armor. Yeah, heavy armor is the nice one, and two-hand is Farkas. And then you also can go get the totems of Hircine with Elia the Huntress. You can do that's 6 more missions. It's a decent amount of content. Mage's Guild is probably the least, so I've saved it for last. Because while it is the least, I find it to be the second most fun. Mainly because you're a mage. It's fun to blast stuff with fire. I'm not gonna count out the number of missions. Just know it's a decent amount. It's compared to Oblivion, it's very small. Like it took me forever to do the seven leader boy people. It took me forever to get their recommendations, but I did it, and then I got the rank of apprentice, and then I'm like, oh, holy cow, this is gonna be a long one. So yeah, it is definitely a fun quest line. Okay, now let's go to the main quest line. The reason that I didn't bring this up in Morrowind or Oblivion is because I haven't started the main quest line. I normally try to save the main quest line for last for these new games. Basically, in Skyrim, you fight the big dragon. Okay, and then you find out that you're Dragonborn. It's a really fun quest line. And the final fight with Ulduin, it's normally a piece of cake. Unfortunately for me, the last time that I fought him was actually very recently. Actually, I'm pretty sure I beat Ulduin, and then I bought Morrowind and Oblivion, so it was very recent. But basically, I wanted the Soul Cairn Dragon. I'll get to the DLCs, but I wanted the Soul Cairn Dragon to help me out in the fight. But that's a 300-second shell cooldown. So I activated it, and then I had 300 seconds the final spell, but then I had to wait 300 seconds, and I had to survive 300 seconds for the Dragon Rance out. I then proceeded to four-shot him, but yeah. I mean, I was level 50, so you can't blame him there. It is a very fun questline. To me, personally, my favorite questline, besides Thieves Guild, I'll normally always do the Thieves Guild first, because I just find it fun. But my favorite quest, and other than that, the Silver War. You see, I'm a small creator, so I probably shouldn't give my opinion on this because, well, I want to grow. But my opinion is that the Imperials are right, and here's the reason. Ulfric is only thinking about the now. He's thinking about, well, the Empire are trying to ban Talos. And the Empire seems to be bending to the will of the Thalmor. I don't want this for my people, for my land. But in reality, what is happening is the Imperials are being smacked down with this really hard battle against the Old-Mary Dominion. Like they've had, as we will learn in the Elder Scrolls Online, they have had a little settlement up there. So because Skyrim is basically an imperial country, then they have to ban Talos in those cities. Like if you notice, like Talos worship isn't banned everywhere. You'll find Talos shrines everywhere. You'll find Talos, like, heck, there's a shrine of Talos in Markarth. Of course, that is because Ulfric helped out Markarth during a time of need. I'm pretty sure it was the Forsworn invasion, or something about that. But basically, the Imperials, if they are able to win the Civil War, then what will happen is Skyrim is now part of Cyrodiil. Now, Cyrodiil is a country. It's part of the Imperial Legion, basically. The Empire. Which I'm pretty sure, if I am correct, don't quote me on this, Hammerfell is also a part of the Empire. So basically, you have this giant, it's basically the middle of Tamriel. Okay? They have, like, if Skyrim falls into the hands of the Nords, and the Nords are stubborn enough to not take the Empire's help, which I feel like they would be, because Ulfric wants nothing to do with the Imperials. He wants to kick them out, and everything. But, if Skyrim falls into the Nords, then the Old-Mary Dominion can easily take Skyrim, because, well, you gotta realize, the Imperial army is a lot bigger, stronger, more trained than the Nords of Skyrim. Sure, they have their homeland advantage, but that doesn't really matter in this context. So the Old-Mary Dominion will be able to smash their way through, take Skyrim, and firstly, now the people of Skyrim are basically slaves because they're in the hands of the Old-Mary Dominion. And now the Empire is now fighting all around it. When, if it had Skyrim, like, you gotta think about this on a larger scale. Ulfric wants Skyrim because he believes that, like, they're trying to ban our god. They're trying to make our people slaves to these elves. But General Tullius knows that no, they're not trying to take away their god. They're not trying to subjugate everyone to the Thalmor or to the Old-Mary Dominion. What they really want is they just want to win the war. They want, because that's the entire reason why they can't worship Talos, is because the elves are like, okay, you know what, we will sign a truce with you guys if you ban the worship of him. So you need to think about this logically for the Imperials. They're being destroyed right now. So they have an opportunity to have some peace for a little bit to regain their strength. And all they really need to do is ban the worship of Talos. Which of course the Nords don't like it, but it's necessary. Because that's how the Empire will be able to get them back. Get the people back. And well, there are some Nords that are for the Imperial. For example, that are for the Empire. Meaning that they have more people. For example, in Riften, Jarl whatever her name, before Maven, because I'm always for the Imperials, so normally it will always swap over to Maven Blackbriar. But before Maven Blackbriar, one of the sons of the Jarl of Riften is like, wow, I've been basically, I've been disowned by my family because I support the Empire. They just like, and it shows that that some Nords are for the Empire, and well, if the Nords found out that the Empire was fighting to basically regain their worship of Talos, then they would definitely join. Well, they would hopefully join. Nords are very stubborn people, but hopefully they would. And the thing that I like most about the Civil War, it's not the politics. I could care less. Like when I had to go to the stupid peace treaty in the main quest line, that I was bored to tears. I hated it. It just wasn't fun. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's 2:30 in the morning, and so that there are zero distractions from this. But what I find what makes it my second most favorite questline in the game is because I love the big battles. You gather up troops and then you smash them into a fort. That doesn't matter whether you're Stormcloak or Imperial, both sides do it. And it's so much fun. And the final siege against either Windhelm or Solitude. I've never done Solitude, but I have done Windhelm so many times. It's so much fun still. You gather outside the doors. General Tullius is like, come on, man, we will win. We will find a little bit of peace. And then you guys run in there. You're smashing Stormcloak soldiers until you get up into the Jarl's room. General Tullius says, stand down, Ulfric. We have had enough bloodshed. And then his commander and chief lieutenant is like, if you want to get to him, you have to get to me. And then he's like, and then General Tullius is like, it doesn't matter to me. You are both traitors and therefore deserve a traitorous death. And then Ulfric is like, I will not go down without a fight. And then you go ching ching bang bang bing bang 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 bing bing ching 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 ching, and then you block the blows ching 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 bah, and then you stab him and then you win. And then there's fire everywhere in the city. It's so much fun. I love it. Definitely one of my favorite moments of Skyrim. Now, let's go on about the atmosphere. Because, firstly, Morrowind's, from what I've seen, it might just be because I have a very bad copy of the game. I just bought it online. It's just the Xbox version. It's, I guess, Game of the Year version. But it seems very gloomy. Like, whenever it is light outside, like, everything's made out of stone. The sun's not very bright. Like, I have seen pictures of, like, Morrowind with Skyrim graphics, and it looks really nice and really pretty. Oblivion, it's always nice and pretty, like, everywhere. Like, the entire place is just covered with, like, wildlife and flowers, nature. It's very nice. Skyrim is, there's the middle part which is nice. There's Morthal, which is a swamp. There is Dawnstar, Winterhold, Whiterun, Dawnstar, Winterhold, and Windhelm, which are all just covered in snow and mountains. Then you have Riften, which is half swamp, half nature. Then you have Falkreath, which is really nice and really pretty all the time. Then you have Morthal, which is just a lot of mountains. Then you have Solitude, which is also a nice and very pretty place. Okay, time for the DLCs. Because you see, I feel like, yeah, the DLC. Let's start via their release date. We have Dawnguard. Well, I'm talking about the two main big DLCs. Like, Hearthfire is fun, and I do like it. and it will definitely be adding points to Skyrim. I just do not want to point it out because I do not know if it's the first or the second. I know that Dragonborn is the last then. So, Dawnguard. It's probably my third favorite DLC. I mean, third favorite questline. For the reason of kind of the same reason of the Civil War. You go through, and then you become either a very cool vampire lord, or, in my own opinion, a even cooler vampire hunter. I just really like the fact that you become a vampire hunter. On my most recent playthrough, I named my character Grog. He's a heavy weapon, heavy armor. He was a vampire, mainly for an achievement. I wanted the achievement of a vampire perk achievement, so I am technically a vampire, but I wanted to see if I can retain the vampire lord powers and be a Dawnguard. I don't think that there is. If there was, then I'm very sad. But it is so much fun, no matter what side that you are. Except, in my own personal opinion, it's a lot less fun on Vampire because I don't know why, but I haven't seemed to be gotten the quest that's like go destroy the leaders of the Dawnguard, which is my favorite part about the questline. When you and the Dawnguard go out to Castle Volkiar, and then all just charge into the place, kill a butt ton of vampires, and then you go kill their leader. But in the vampire section, it's just you kill the vampire leader, and that's about it. But you're able to turn your wife into a vampire, which is really cool. A nice detail, I guess. Also, I kind of sick because I was quick. Okay. Time for a decently fun DLC. Dragonborn. So you see, Dragonborn takes place on the island of Solstheim. An island that I expect to go back to a Morrowind, because everyone's talking about, oh, don't go to Solstheim. So I assume that it's probably part of the main quest. It's probably part of something. But in Skyrim, it is a very small, I say very small. It's still very large, but you can travel it in probably about 20 minutes. You could probably find, if you were just kind of running by and collecting discovering the locations, and I would say you could probably find everything in about 20 minutes. At least for me, if you just run through. And I have done probably every single thing that you can do on Solstheim. So I can give a very good review of this. Basically, most of the quest lines are really fun. Like the guard quest line, where you get to go kill this guy for this very strong hammer. Honestly, it's decently fun. It's kind of boring, but hey, it starts off really fun. You go help out the guard of. You go help out this guard dressed in Dragonbone, and then you find out that an old dead army commander is resurrected, I guess, or something, and then you go kill him and take his cool hammer. And then afterwards, so again, that's really late. But hey, I gotta pull an all-nighter to do something. My sleep schedule's all messed up. But then the guard captain will give you a quest where you go bust his you go find his secret drinking stash. It's it's funny. The main quest. It's a decent main quest. It's very 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 short. Like the main quest is you go up to Temple Mirak, And with the help of whatever her name, you get down to the bottom, go into the book, confront him, die. Then you go to Skull Village. Then from there you go cleanse all the stones. Then you go to Mushroom Place, go into a dwarven ruin. Yeah, read book. Get the Benwill shout. Win. Six quests. It's not very long at all. It's about, you really put your mind to it, maybe about 1, 2, 3 hours. It's really fun though. It's a fun quest line. Sure, a bit short, but yeah, it's a decent quest line. The final fight with Mirak is always fun. It's really fun. Like the last playthrough that I did. Again, heavy armor, heavy weapons, so I two-shot him every time, but he doesn't die. So just funny, just running around trying to knock him down while he's eating dragon souls, and then Hermaeus Mora comes in, and it's like, goodbye, and then you win. Surprisingly, the Wizards of the Mushroom Place actually have a decently long quest line, which is, it's a decent quest line. It's not bad. It's not very good either, but it's not bad. There, of course, just raiding quests on the island. There's a secret boss. I forgot what his name is. I'm pretty sure it starts with a K or something. It's probably like Karstag. But that sounds too familiar. I'll guess Karstag. No, Karstag. Karstag. That, yeah, it sounds very familiar. It's definitely not the name of it could be the name of the boss. But it's not, it's probably the name of a boss. I don't know. But basically, there's a secret boss where he's very strong. Like, I was only able to kill him because he glitched out for me. He is, oh, he's strong. He's a really hard boss. Doesn't drop anything good, but hey, it's the experience that counts. You can either lead a hunt, you can either lead a or you can have some get the haul back. Personally, I normally get the right, but this time I went with Norse mainly because, well, they clean up the place. Also because I've never done it before. Yeah. So that's Skyrim. From what I've played, Skyrim is S tier. Because I know that a lot of people would probably say that Oblivion is better than Skyrim. But from what I've played, Skyrim is so much fun. Oblivion better do something like to me or something. Okay, now the last one should be the Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know what the other Elder Scrolls Online looking one is, but okay. Ooh, I want to play Daggerfall. Okay, Elder Scrolls Online. Let's talk about it. Personally, it's probably my least favorite in the series. For one key feature. Online. I personally like to go into a lot of my missions alone. And I like to go in alone. But sometimes other players will just be there and ruin the mission. Because now I don't get to do anything because everything's already done. When I'm not going in alone, it's kind of just very boring and repetitive. Where it's kind of just the same, go into a dungeon, kill the dungeon, win. Of course, though, there are the different missions. Like, the main quest lines are always fun. Like, I have the. I'm pretty sure that it's not Morrowind. I know this. It's called like Volungrowth. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I have the Vivek. No, but Vivek is in Morrowind. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's where my last episode of the playthrough left off. Yeah, that. Yeah, it is. But basically, in that, because it is technically a DLC. In it, though, like it's a decently long quest line. Like, the Elder Scrolls Online is a fun game, and there's so much that you can do. It's kind of insane. Like, and the thing is though, but the thing is though, you are limited because it is more of a multiplayer game than you would think. Because, well, firstly there's the arena, but mostly because of the different classes. Because there are classes in the Elder Scrolls Online, it makes it a lot less fun. Because there are actually classes in Morrowind and Oblivion, but these classes don't change on what you can do. It's just what you want to try to specialize in. For example, in Oblivion, I made my own class. I just called it Grog. But I wanted to kind of be a paladin. I wanted two-handed weapons, I wanted restoration spells. And that's what I was able to choose. In Elder Scrolls Online, my first character ever was a paladin. But this means that I have a certain amount of skills I can equip. I'm pretty sure it's either 5 or 6, and then your ult. And then you gotta level up your staves, or your one-handed, or your two-handed, or your sword and board, or everything. And but you see, if you ever want to like be a paladin, like if you ever want to truly roleplay, because I definitely have a lot of role playing, like Dark Souls, for example. Half my characters are kind of. In fact, in Dark Souls 3, I call it the GCU, the Grog Cinematic Universe. I have Grog. He's the main character of the GCU. He's he carries around either Lito's Great Hammer or Great Club infused with heavy. He has a fire weapon pyromancy. Other than that, he'll normally either wear just like the master's clothes, or he'll wear full Havel armor. He's basically just big. And then I have a pyromancer named Gorg, which is just Grog backwards. You kind of just and basically only uses pyromancy. Then I have Barog, which is their dad. Gorg is Grog's brother. You see, I always have fun and I roleplay around. And like recently, when I was on Dark Souls, I'm like, you know what? I want to swap. I want to change it up a little. So then Grog instead became kind of like this vigilante, and now instead of no armor, he'll now wear kind of as most giant dad armor as I can in Dark Souls 3. And now he has a plus 10 Chaos Zweihander or Zweihander. I don't know how to say it properly, but yeah, it's fun, and you can't do that in Elder Scrolls Online. So for this, Elder Scrolls Online is a B tier game. Okay, so I have another one that I have already pulled up. It is Skyrim Daedric Artifacts. I will click over to that one now. I'm going to explain what I do before I do it, because again, every time that I click my mouse, it lags. I don't know why. kind of weird. So, what? I think that this is in Spanish. Meo fraco mais ainda recomende el uma merda depende rezo velem de obi and obi. Okay, I'm going to change the name shortly. Okay, so the reason it goes S A B C F is because I don't think that there are any D tier. I think that at most they're either C tier or they're completely useless. So let's begin. Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker. Okay, so let's talk about this actually, because in most cases, a lot of people will probably just make fun of a lot of the items on this list, like Dawnbreakers from Meridia's Beacon, and the skeleton key's not even a Daedric artifact, or yeah. But basically, let's actually try to as much as I can. So, the Dawnbreaker. It's a what seems to be a low damage weapon. Of course, single hand, so you can either dual wield it or even sword and board it. So, sorry. You see, I'm pausing so that I can hear myself, so that I know that I'm not lagging when I speak, because I want to try to make better content, of course. So Dawnbreaker, definitely not S tier. It has a special effect where you actually deal more damage to undead, and undead can explode. So, pretty good enchantment. The thing is, it doesn't deal a lot of damage. At least to someone who uses two-handed weapons. Like my Stalrim hammer deals 163 or something damage. So, and I'm pretty sure Dawnbreaker, at least when I got it, at base it was like 11 damage. I will put it B tier because it does make enemies, it does make the undead explode if you kill them. It has a chance of making them explode. Okay, the Ring of Hircine. The Ring of Hircine is actually really, I wouldn't say really good. I would say it all depends on what you want to do. Because I've never done like a lot. I've never done a lot with werewolf, but when I was going for my get 11 werewolf perks, the Ring of Hircine was. If you want to use werewolf, then it's a good. I'm gonna put it in A tier because for its use, it is very good for what it does. Unlike Dawnbreaker, which for its use it is supposed to be a melee weapon, where it deals very little damage, except to undead, where it deals a bit more. The Ring of Hircine is supposed to be a kind of you want to use werewolf mode infinite times a day. Here you go. So, yeah. The Cannibal Ring. Honestly, I've never used it. Ever. You can eat people and gain health, I'm pretty sure, and stamina. And it gives you 50 points of stamina, which is pretty useless. And that's coming from someone who uses heavy weapons, so I'm like always power attacking, and it always drains me of everything, but I would never use that. F tier. The Skull of Corruption. The Skull of Corruption is a pretty bad weapon. In fact, it's very bad. But you see, it's bad like the Cannibal Ring, but its quest line makes up for it. The Skull of Corruption's quest is really cool and creative because you get to go into the past, which is really cool actually. So it is moved up to C tier, and it can deal kind of decent damage. The Skeleton Key. Okay, now let's get this right out of the way. Skeleton Key is not an actual Daedric artifact. It will not count towards the Daedric artifact goal. Instead, it's what happens when you do not turn it into Nocturnal right away. Now let's talk about it reasonably. It is easily S tier. It is an unbreakable lockpick. That's it. It's an unbreakable lockpick. So and the Mace of Molag Bal. It has kind of the same problem as Dawnbreaker, except kind of different actually. It's kind of reversed. It has decent damage. I know that deals like 20-ish damage, at least when I got mine. But it drains stamina, which all that will really do is prevent enemies from, I guess, power attacking, but if you're dealing with enemies and you're normally dealing with a lot, they're not really much harder. There's normally a lot. So I'm gonna put it in the same rank as Dawnbreaker in the B tier because it is a decent weapon. Its enchantment's pretty bad though. The Ebony Mail. I actually just recently got this one as my first time with my new level 50 character. Because if I remember correctly, you either need to be level 30, 40, or 50. I'm pretty sure it's 50 because I remember I became a level and I really wanted to go get it. But the Ebony Mail, I guess it would be very good for people who don't specialize in heavy armor. As someone who did and had upgraded like armor, it is really useless. But for anyone who wants to have a stealth build and have nice heavy armor on, Ebony Mail is pretty useful. You see, I'm trying to take into the full consideration because for me, I have Storm armor that has 400 defense, and that has 100. But compared to like I don't know, like a sorcerer or like a thieves guild cloak, has a lot more armor, and it has a little stealth buff. For this, it'll go in B team. Below B tier, I'm trying to organize them in a way. Dawnbreaker is better than the Mace of Molag Bal only because there's a lot of undead in Skyrim. Like most of the main quest lines are the undead. There's a lot of like Draugr ruins that you gotta go into. There's a lot of undead. Sleeping would be nice, but okay, now there's both versions of the Asura Star. One is S, one is A. And by A, I mean F. Okay, let me explain. I don't know exactly what a black or white soul is. I'm pretty sure that a white soul is like an animal. In fact, I'm going to look this up. Better option. I was just typed in what's the difference between black and white souls. Answers. Black souls are NPC souls. Bandits, city guards, merchants, farmers, etc. White souls are everything else. Normally you cannot capture a black soul. Unless you have a black soul gem, which are rare. I do not want to turn off my phone. But basically, the thing is, you will be fighting so many bandits, it's unreasonable. You will just, and they're just so much more valuable, and they will charge up your weapons more than white souls. No matter, like, it's always just better to have the black as zero star and not the white one. Of course, it definitely doesn't deserve F tier. I will put it in A where it does belong. It is still very good, but the black one is just better. The Ebony Blade, something that I have never like fully accomplished, because the Ebony Blade is a blade where whenever you kill a friendly, like someone who will consider you to be their friend, so very easily just people that you beat in a brawl in a tavern, if you kill them with the blade, then you have more absorb health on the weapon. So, very useful if you are evil and have no morals. As someone who genuinely just doesn't really care much about power, and instead just likes having friends in the game, it is completely useless. But I know that does have its use. So it is definitely an A tier weapon. It is a two-handed sword that deals 200 damage, that scales with two hands, but it swings as fast as one hand, so it's very fast. You can do a lot more damage with that absorb health. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. Mazroon's Dagger. Basically, the thing is about this weapon, firstly, if we're talking about, like, construction-wise, this is probably the worst built weapon in all of history. Why is there just... There's just... It goes thick, then extremely tiny, then thick again. That's not how daggers work. But gameplay-wise, I would probably say it is around B tier. While people can argue A and S because it has a chance to instantly kill anything, that's the thing. It has a chance. A very small chance. I'm pretty sure it's like 1 in 100 chance of one-shot anything. Or, of course, there are a lot of enemies and, like, bosses that are immune to it. So, I will put it in B tier, because that's where I believe it belongs. The Rueful Axe. This thing is garbage. It has the slowest attack speed in the game. It doesn't deal that much damage, and it drains stamina, which is a very useless perk. But, you see, it's not completely useless, because it still is a weapon. Meaning, C tier, low C tier. Okay, the Mask of Clavicus Vile. I'll drag it there. The Mask of Clavicus Vile. I've been using it a lot more, and I've been able to appreciate what it is. It is a nice heavy armor with very good scaling, like without like upgrading it once. It was at like 100 armor just from my perks of heavy armor, which is really good. But the fact that it also has the how you can buy and sell stuff for more and less, how your speech skill goes up, while those are kind of useless if if those are kind of useless if you just have the amulet of articulation, but if you don't, and I mean if you really want to, then bang, there's a really good option for you. Oh, I'm pretty sure that this one is called Savior's Hide. It's C tier. It's not actually no, it's F tier, dude. I'm pretty sure at most it will give you like 42 defense. And you gotta kill your werewolf friend. F. Spellbreaker. Or spell something. I don't know the name. Because I've only gotten it ever once. Because it's kind of hidden away. Like, it was really hidden away, actually. It's not that bad. And especially if you could, like, combine it with, like, the Mace of Molag Bol or Dawnbreaker, just one of the other one-handed weapons. Then, or heck, even the School of Corruption, then you got a decent thing. I would probably suggest most, if you're trying to compare it up with any Daedric artifact, probably Mace of Molag Bol, because, well, if you're going into Draugr Ruin, then you're not going to have a lot of spells to deflect. Of course, it does work as a shield, too, but I feel like its main use of being used over just a better shield is the fact that it can reflect magic. Well, not reflect, but it can absorb magic damage. For that, it's a really high B tier. Because it's not bad. Of course, you probably want to use it over like a Dragonbone shield if you wanted a shield. Unless, of course, you want that specific reason. But it's good. Now, this next thing, I'm pretty sure that we all know where it goes. S tier, of course. I can't even pronounce it. It's like the Ogam Indefinium or something weird like that. But it's a book for completing Mr. Hermamora himself's quest. No DLC required. It's in like Septimus Six. I don't know. The old wizard who will give you the quest for the Elder Scroll. I mean, who will give you the lexicon for the Elder Scroll. But this book will give you +5 in every single skill of either magic, which is like illusion, alteration, destruction, conjuration, restoration, enchanting. No, yes, maybe alchemy. I don't know. Or if you chose like it to go in the green path, then it'll give +5 levels to everything in the green, or +5 to everything in the red. Very good, very useful. The Sanguine's Rose. I'm gonna put this one A tier, and I'm going to explain this one before I put it up there. Basically, it summons a Dremora Lord for 60 seconds. Which, well, he probably doesn't do a lot. I don't know. I've never used it. I've normally just hung this one up on my wall. But Dremora Lord sounds like really good. I've never used it in Conjuration, but last time I checked, I'm pretty sure it costs like 800 magicka to cast one. Meaning that it's really good. A tier. Okay. The hammer. Honestly, firstly, this quest was very boring and very short. And I'm pretty sure again the hammer does magic. I mean deals stamina drain on your enemy, which really isn't very good. It does deal damage unlike the Rueful Axe, so that's always a +1. It looks really cool. And I guess technically the quest is kind of boring and cool. Like the actual quest itself is really boring because you just go into a cave, kill some giants. But then the fact that it has a little twist, it has a little twisty turny boy, and then you get to talk to the orc deity himself, like pretty cool. I'll say high C tier because I would not think that it stand actually. Actually, I want to put it B tier. I want to put it right before the Mason Warlock Bowl, actually. Also, Maroon's dagger is definitely a lot better than the rest of those weapons. Now, last one is the Wabbajack. The Wabbajack is S tier. Everyone knows this. Because you have a chance to, I don't know, either turn your enemies into chickens. I don't know, maybe you'll end up giving them the courage spell. I don't know, it's just a fun little thing that is extremely powerful. Very scarily powerful. So yeah. So that was the end of this tier list. I'm gonna look for another one right now. Server, you wait this open here once it loads. This one will be my last one. To sleep, it is currently 3:08 a.m. in the morning. What does it mean by non-playable? Huh. I guess from the best of my abilities, I will be ranking these. So firstly, Missing Boltmare. Easy D tier. They think too highly of themselves, they're too arrogant, too cocky. I just hate them all around. They're not fun people to hang around with. The only one was like in Skyrim, when you have to infiltrate the Thalmor embassy, the one who invites you, Eleonora, I think her name is. She seems to be kind of interesting. Argonians. Argonians are weird because they're normally fun to talk to, but their names really confuse me because it's like sea water, liquor, and then like it's kind of weird. Yeah, all their names are like that, but most of the time they're really cool. In fact, it was actually my first Skyrim race ever. B tier. Wood Elf. I don't think that I know anyone who would ever choose a Wood Elf as their starting class. I'm kidding. They're really good with archer. They're stealth archers, really, which should make them D tier. But they're definitely better than high elves. Like, I know that Fendel from Skyrim, I don't know if he's a wood elf or a dark elf. Heck, he may even be a high elf. All I know is that he is an elf. And he's very manipulative. I mean, both him and Sven are very manipulative, but there's very little wood elves, so you gotta represent. I would say low C tier. I just don't like them. Very well. I don't really care for them. That's the thing. Oh, it's the Nords. That's not the Nords, huh? What is that? Be the Nords. I'm pretty sure it's the Nords. Saying, well, that look. Cause the other human ones, those ones are Imperials. I assume that those ones are Bretons, but they are blonde, and most Nords are. Screw it, these ones are Nords. The ones that I'm currently on are Nords. Nords are, if we're talking about the race of people, they are very prideful, but not in the Altmer way. They're prideful of their culture and of their history, of their knowledge, everything that they have. The Altmer are proud because they think that they're better than everyone. Nords are very good people. Unfortunately, their main downside is that they are too basically into themselves. Well, no, not into themselves, but they're too cocky towards themselves. Like I don't know how to say this. Basically, they're too into their own culture. Like, I understand being proud of who you are, but you don't gotta say it every single second and have your personality be about it. A tier though, because they're still normally good people. Okay, they're being carried hard by the companion leader. Dark elves. Dark elves are personally very rude. Like, it all depends on where you meet them and which dark elf you're talking to. But most of the time, in the Elder Scrolls Online, if you go or just Skyrim, if you go over to Morrowind, then they'll all kind of just call you outsider, and they'll all they're kind of like Nords. So A tier. And they're kind of cool because they can resist fire. And Nords are the exact same except with cold, so they're like Nords were almost brought down by Ulfric. Actually, no, the Nords are low A tier because while they're like the opposite of Dark Elves, but they're both A tier. Except Nords are racist towards Dark. I mean, Dark Elves are also racist towards everyone else too. You know, sure, I'll keep it where it is. I don't know what the next one is, so D tier. The Falmer, huh? Well, I don't even need to really think about that one. That one's easy D tier. Like, it's kind of just garbage. Like, the evil ones are awful to go against, and the ones that aren't evil yet kind of just sit down in a cave and wait. I put them high D tier. They're higher than high elves because almost every single high elf is bad, but the one non-corrupted, like, you gotta think about their backstory. The only reason that they're like this was because they were violently imprisoned and slaved by the dwarves. Like, in the Dawnguard DLC, you meet a snow elf who's very nice. Of course, a bit obsessed with his traditions, but okay. What is that? I don't know. I can't see a lot of them. So screw them. Also the last one's Sparkling. And you know what? I agree. They belong in D tier. Imperials. Imperials D tier. They're kind of just the middle of the pack. They're just citizens of the Empire. They're the most mid thing ever. Khajiit. Now Khajiit are S tier. Khajiit characters are so much fun to talk to. Have you ever talked to J'zargo? J'zargo wishes you well, friend. Oh, can you test out J'zargo's cloak? It's so much fun to talk to them. And well, the only one that I can ever say that actually got on my nerve was the Oblivion one. Like one of the Doyers, the Shiraj, I'm pretty sure her name was. If you didn't have a bounty but asked to clear your bounty, well, you can't exit out of dialogue in that game, so you're forced to choose. I'll just go on my own. She's like, this one wishes you were locked up in a cage. I'll assume that these ones are brands. Brands are pretty cool. Brands are normally just decent people, and well, they're kind of just there. I'd say high B tier. Orcs are S tier. Now I don't care about personal bias. I genuinely don't care about that for this one. Orcs are the best race by far. They have the most points in armor and heavy weapons and heavy armor, making them better. By armor, I mean smithing. They're also pretty cool people. Like, they kind of just want to live and do their traditions. Red Guards. I would say Red Guards are mid-C tier because, well, they're better than Imperials, but I don't want to put them B tier because, like, especially in Skyrim, like the one quest where you gotta go find a Red Guard woman, like, it just shows how much drama they're in. And well, if you have the Elder Scrolls Online and go to the Alikir Desert, like, it's kind of just, it's just, again, they're kind of just normal people, really. You see, the rest of these, like, the 3 in C tier, are kind of just the regular people. I'll see y'all in the next video or stream or whatever you're watching this on. I'm gonna go to bed. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen. Adios something.